Hey coach, have you dressed your shop window? What do you want about, Carl? Look, hear me out. If you're a new coach trying to build an audience and attract clients on social media, you're probably thinking that you need a website or you need funnels. My take on that is there's a time and a place, so not right away. But I do see so many coaches just missing out on the key piece of the puzzle, which is to make the most out of their Facebook profile. What I mean is dressing the shop window. Think of it like this. Back in the day, before online shopping, retail stores would spend loads of time making sure their shop windows were eye-catching. Why? Because it drew people inside. Your Facebook profile works in exactly the same way. So in this lesson, we're going to look at the 6 key parts of your Facebook profile that you need to give just a little bit of care and attention so that you can show off your best stuff and make it super easy for your potential clients to look at your profile and understand exactly what you're about. So let's dive straight in. So I'll use my Facebook profile to take you through this. So first things first, your profile photo ideally needs to be a head or a head and shoulders shot, clearly showing your face, showing a little bit of personality. You can have a bit of a background, but please don't make it you and your partner or you in a busy crowd. This is about showcasing who you are. It's not a passport photograph, but it still needs to be identifiable as you. So then there's the intro section. And this intro section here is really short. You don't actually, if I click edit bio, you don't actually get many characters. As you can see there, I've used every single character there is. So I'm just going to take that back out. As you can see there, you've only got 101 characters. So you are probably not going to be able to put your full I help statement with all those 5 components in there. You're going to have to use one of the shorter versions that we created in that lesson. So maybe it's just your niche and problem. Maybe it's your niche and outcome. So what I've done for mine is basically said just helping coaches get client shit sorted. Helping coaches is my niche, and client shit sorted is in essence the desire or the outcome. So you can only have a shortened version in there, especially if you're going to do what I've done, which is also put a link in there as well. So I've put a link in there, which is a link to my Facebook group. So the beauty of that is straight away, when somebody looks at my intro, they can see what I'm about, and straight away I'm showcasing my Facebook group as well, which becomes a clickable link up in the intro section, right up at the top. Next is the rest of the bio or the rest of the details. So you want to be having a few key positions that you hold currently or have held in the past, which are relevant to what you're now doing. So I'm a coach. I've got quite a heavy tech background and a customer experience background at quite a senior level. So I'm showcasing the fact that I've been senior. I've worked at a senior operations level. I've worked in and around customer experience for a number of years. So I've showcased there a few of my recent relevant titles. What we've also got is things that you've studied or accreditations, qualifications. So again, just put 1 or 2 relevant qualifications or accreditations in there. You also want to put in there some real life you. Where am I from? I'm not putting my specific postcode or address in, but where in the world am I? Manchester in the United Kingdom. That in itself will relate to some people who are up in the north of England. I've got a bit of relationship stuff in there as well. The fact that I'm married and a link to my wife's profile. Again, I wouldn't necessarily go overboard and put all of your kids in there, your brothers, your sisters, but showing your partner is quite a nice thing in here too. And then you've got the ability to put a social link in. And this is probably one of the key areas that I see a lot of people making mistakes. Ultimately, I want my profile to only point people towards my Facebook group. I do have other socials, but I don't want to draw people in and then push them back out of the platform. So what I'm doing in my profile, it's always then pointing people to my Facebook group only. So again, if I edit details and look at all of these different things that I can edit, yes, I could add lots of different websites, but the only one that I've added is my Facebook group. I've not added any additional social links on there Because if anything, if you start to add loads of different links, you're going to confuse your audience. You're going to take them away from the platform, and I want them to stay on my profile and I want them to go into my Facebook group. Okay, so jumping down a little bit now, I just want to draw your attention to this photos section, this grid of 9. Now this photos section will be built up automatically by Facebook based on the recent photos that you have posted. So any posts that contain a photo, not a video, but any posts that contain a photo will appear in that grid. And it's something that you need to make sure as a quick check that it's not too salesy and it's not too much about created designs. So mine's probably a little bit too heavy at the moment on created designs. That's a created design, that is, and that is. You want as many photos that are real life or photos of you as possible. So ideally you want 4, 5 at least that have got your face in there, which again is a good indication that you're keeping your profile about you and you're showcasing things that you do and things about your life and the fact that you're a real person. So do keep an eye on that. The thing that dictates what appears in there, as I say, is what you post, but it's certainly something you should keep an eye on. Next is the featured section, this section here, and this is a brilliant way to get your potential clients to know you really quickly. So when somebody comes onto my profile at the moment, the first thing they see is the banner, which obviously I'm going to cover in a minute. They're probably going to have a quick scan down here, and then all of a sudden they're getting to see this stuff. Oh, get to know me. That's interesting. I'm going to click on that. And it just shows some recent photos that I've decided to put in there, which are about me. Another key thing is client feedback. You absolutely want to be showcasing feedback that you've had from clients, because what people are trying to do is get to know, like, and trust you. So why not showcase in your featured section how to get to know you and like you? Trusting you is going to come from your client feedback. They're not going to trust you. They're going to trust what other people say about you, right? So you absolutely want to be creating some featured sections. So this featured section is something that a lot of coaches miss. You can simply go into edit featured. Let's just say that I want to create a brand new featured section. First thing you need to do is just at least pick a photo. I'm just going to pick one of them. I'm going to select next. I'm just going to call this testing, just that I know at the moment to remove it. The very first photo that you add, it will create as the cover. If I click save, now I've got another featured section. So there are all the featured sections I've got. Now there's quite a difference between this one and the others. And that's simply that in the others, what I've done is I've created in Canva a different cover image, a story size image to add to those other featured sections. So you can create custom images as I have here and upload those as the cover image. I'm just going to delete this one out again. I don't want that in there. So do have a look at the featured section. It's really worth doing. Couple of things that you should be aware of. Within features, it will allow you to pick and add anything from any photos you've been tagged in. It will allow you to add from any stories that you've created. So stories, suggested photos, any uploads. If you've created a post with an image, it will show the image in your feature, but it will not show the text that you put along with it. So do pick photos that in themselves tell a bit of a story. So that's the featured, and you get extra points, I think, for titling them and having a nice cover image so it's very clear what people are going to get. My suggestion would be a get to know me and a client feedback. 2 absolute dead certs that you want to put in there as featured sections on your profile. Okay, so there's 5 key areas that you need to look at. And now probably the most important, or one of the most important, is what's the first thing they're going to see? Again, if this was a shop window and someone's walking past the shop, what's the first thing they're going to see? Well, of course, the banner, your Facebook banner, is the first thing that people are going to see. And so many people get this wrong. Now, You've already made a great start because you've now got your I help statement, which you've refined in one of the previous lessons. And you've got shortened versions of it and different versions. So let's look now what we should be doing with the banner and overcome a lot of the mistakes that most people make. So my banner image is here. If I click my banner image, I just want you to pay attention to what is my image. So it's interesting. I've actually got a piece at the top of the image up here as well. But you'll note that when it's displayed on desktop, it doesn't show that top bit of the image. When it's on a mobile, it will show all that image, but it will actually cover this area with a big profile photo. So let me go into more detail and show you what I mean. My banner image looks like that, and that's one that's optimized so that it's going to work and display well on a desktop, and it's going to display on mobile. If I show you what it looks like on desktop, you can see that it's missed this top bit off up here. And that's something that you've got to live with. Be aware of that and design your banner so it doesn't matter if that bit's missing. And in a similar way, when you have it displayed on mobile, although it's going to show this top bit now, it covers up quite a big area with your profile image. So again, design your banner so that the important parts are always on show. So in your workbook that I've created for you, it's showing you here. First of all, if you're creating it, then you should be creating it at 1280 by 720 in something like Canva. You need to bear in mind this is what it's going to look like on a mobile. So this is what you're going to see on mobile. This is what you're going to see on desktop. So when you think about it, when you put both of them together, really the only bit that you can guarantee is always going to be seen on both mobile and desktop is this area. You won't see this on desktop, and this bit's going to be covered on mobile. So this is the area that you need to design the most important stuff in, which again, if you look at mine, is exactly what I've done. My I help statement is in this area up here. You'll also get to see on mobile, and this area here you will get to see if you're on desktop. So you need to think very carefully around how you design your profile image so that it's going to work effectively on both mobile and desktop. Now, a lot of the time I see people creating their images and then you'll look at it on desktop and it will cut off like that. You'll see part of it cut off, or it doesn't fit, or you'll see it where most of what they've put, maybe they've put their I help statement on the left-hand side, and then when the profile image covers it, you can't see it. So try not to do that. As I say, this guide, this handout is a great way of looking at what you need to be aware of when you're designing your profile. And the handout that I've created for you as well, which is the upgrade checklist, also runs through all of those different things that we've looked at. So it's got about your banner image on there, it's got about your profile image, your intro bio, intro details, your featured section, recent photos, double checking those things, and some extra things to get a few extra points. So, in your banner, do you want to put your logo if you've got a logo? If you've got a Facebook group, do you want to put your Facebook group in there? So it takes you through step by step all the things that I've just run through there. And it's a great resource that you should look at. And it contains the checklist and it contains the guidance on creating a good photo. So that's dressing your shop window. That's taking your Facebook profile and making it pop. Most people do not do this, or most people don't do all of those things. So be the sort of person who does. Go and get the worksheet with the checklist, check off those things. Go and sort out your banner. Make sure that it's got your full I help statement in there, in that key area on that bottom right that everyone's going to see, irrespective of whether they're on a mobile or on a desktop. And then just cleverly design the rest of it so it's got some added extras in the banner as well. But it's not the end of the world if you can't see those bits on either mobile or desktop. So hopefully that helps. Go and do it now. Go and get your profile upgraded. Use the checklist, tick it off. Looking forward to seeing your Facebook profile pop. See you in the next lesson.